services for our residents here in Glasgow.
That's where Meals on Wheels comes
Meals
from?
and Wheels comes from there. I'm sure they could use our help.
Have you received the food pantry's letter? It's done. Okay.
I mean, they're already on the list here.
I know, but they gotta resubmit a letter. And for the increase in volume.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of profit in following the directions you gave out here.
I know. It's up to council. If you guys want to take comments from the audience, you can.
Would y'all like to hear Mr. Duke's?
Mr. Duke? Yes?
My only question is why does Community Watch make a presentation on what they're doing to the council if they're separate from it? I don't understand.
We are updating council as to what we are doing.
But do all the other groups, I guess it just seems strange that you would have to do that if you're completely separate.
I'm just trying to keep them updated as to what we're doing. The Sergeant Britton is our advisor.
I think it's more of a informational as to what's going on with it, even though technically you wouldn't have to by being a separated agency and having your meeting. But, you know, it's good that you do come and let us know what's going on and the interaction between the council and Community Watch. I mean, it's all here together in the same boat, so.
I think you guys requested it. I'm not sure. So we
I just
have,
wanted to make it clear so everybody understood
yes,
the Community Watch, the connection with the town, the funding part of it and how all that works.
so we have Food Pantry, Fire Department, Rescue Squad, Summer Enrichment, and Community Watch. The mail out letters.
Community
Present.
Watch or Valley Agents?
I need a motion to mail out letters to these nonprofits. If that's the ones you recognize for funding next year.
I guess my question is to, the letter you're sending out, doesn't necessarily commit you to funding, correct?
No, it doesn't. It just means they present a report and they present a request for funding.
These people
Yeah.
read the request.
Yeah, I would say we need to add Community Watch and I don't have a problem with adding Valley Program, but communities,
What's that called?
It's really,
Meals on Wheels?
well, no, it's,
that's, Mary River, it's aging, what is,
Moore River Senior Center?
I go there every Thursday.
Yeah, Moore River Senior Center. And they're run by Valley Program for the Aging Services.
Valley
you
Program.
just have to figure out who the actual person to send it to is, but.
I don't know when.
Call Jerry.
Call Jerry, yeah.
261-7474. She's over,
You got the number, right, tell them the number.
she's the administrator down there.
Jerry is her name.
That's all I know.
If I was here to say Jerry.
And what's the agency called?
VPAS.
Valley? Oh,
Program for Agents.
okay, we'll mail out letters to that too.
It looks like a code.
Valley Program for Aging. So we're gonna send out letters and tell them to present their requests for potential funding for next year's budget. Food Pantry, Fire Department, Rescue Squad, Summer Enrichment, Community Watch, and Valley Program for Aging, right? Okay. All right, I think that's it, Madam Mayor.
When we borrow money, we borrow it, let them make it work on
Next item is public comment period. We're done with business.
Okay. Public comment, Mr. Kendall, Bob Kendall, you're,
But he's not in the public comment, is
Yeah.
yes, he is.
he? Oh, okay. I want to go
Hey, if
first.
you want to go first, will you take Mr. Walton
Yes.
first?
It's up to council.
All right.
You know, Bob's on the agenda and Lee is on the agenda, but
Oh.
council can do anything they like.
I mean, if you wanna
I,
give your time to Mr. Walker first, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Boyd, go ahead.
All right, what code is it I need to speak under, Will?
Hold on, I was about to explain it to you, as soon as the Madam Mayor gives us permission.
Yes.
All right, I was instructed by the mayor and, well, excuse me, by Mr. Simons and Paul to do some research on this, and this is what I come up with. Town ordinance, section 2-47, right to speak. No person who is not the mayor or councilman shall orally address a meeting of the council unless leave to do so has been applied for through the mayor or a councilman, and such leave has been granted by a majority of the members in attendance at such meeting. Any person who shall address such a meeting in other than a respectful language, or who shall appear before such meeting using a threatening or disrespectful manner, shall be deemed guilty of disorderly conduct, shall be tried for such offense pursuant to section 7-1, and upon conviction of such offense shall be punished in accordance with punishment described in such section. In a nutshell, this is disorderly conduct under State Code 18.2-415. If the mayor or myself or the town manager deem that your actions in this public setting is disrespectful or disruptive, first you will be asked to leave. If you do not leave, you will be arrested for trespassing and disorderly conduct.
Okay, this is the Glasgow code?
Section 2-47-ish, 18.2-415 is the state code.
Will, so you're saying I gotta have permission to speak to my elected officials at a public meeting, is this correct?
I'm saying it's at the discretion of council.
Woo! Okay.
And I've been here for 2 years, and this code section has not changed.
But it's we've never had that come up before.
You're probably right, sir, and I have not seen it come up since I've been here in 2 years. And now they're strictly abiding by the town code section, state law, and Robert's Rule of Order. So it's new for all of us.
We'll get to my comments, but Mayor, if we're gonna enforce that, I have 3 more that's coming up. It's in my notes I'd like to bring up, okay? If we're gonna enforce one, let's enforce some more, okay? Can I get started, or?
Yes, but they have to give you leave. Is that right, Aaron? How does it work?
I'm not a lawyer. I'm just reading what the paper says. My interpretation of this is, he asked for permission to speak, asked the mayor for permission, mayor addresses it to the council, council say yea or nay. If they agree, then you speak. If they say nay, you don't.
That's correct.
And that's just my interpretation.
Mayor?
You'd like permission to speak, right?
Yeah.
Okay, council, do I hear a motion to let him speak? Okay.
I'm sorry that all 3 of them, I gotta say something to the new people before you put me on the clock. I see there, but it don't say nothing, that needs to be revised, because it don't say I'm gonna get permission from the mayor. But for the new members, I wanna say something, and I know the town owes you a lot of gratitude for volunteering to do that. And until Barbara called me 2 weeks before Christmas and gave me some unwelcome news, I didn't realize that little bit you people make. And it's shocking, but if you go in and look at the tree limbs, there's some expensive tree limbs, and she told me how much more I need to give. I'm not able to fill out the long tax form, but I'm telling you, if you do much on council, you're better off not to turn in your first check and claim anything you do for council as volunteer work. The $35, you'd be much better off to use it on the long term, okay? But I know each one of these got an agenda, right? Or you wouldn't run for council. And, but you know, you gotta have 4 votes to change anything, right? Okay, I just got a couple issues. My front yard is approximately 48 yards from where the Fifth Lee drag strip starts. I last presented this problem to council back in February of 2013, and Jane, that's where I've seen you word for word on the minutes. And when I presented to council, I got 2 comments. One council member said, well, that's not the only street in Glasgow. The town manager made a snide comment, well, maybe we put in speed bumps. I've got a stack of emails from Sergeant Britton and the town manager. And that's what it said, and excuse me, I'm sorry I can't stand up. A year ago, I was good to pick up a drop of water. But it's a cut through from 130 to Dollar General. And what they do when we hit that dip right there is still, I'll repeat again, if the new members, it's only a matter of time till we have a serious accident. The 2 most likely candidates is Reverend McDaniel, who's deaf, or Georgiana Adams pulling out for the mail. She puts mail in Miss Meggett's box. She pulls back out on 130, and she does look. But one day she forgets a car of the day went flying down through there. And it happens too when there was a car, she was at my box the other day, and bam, here come a car and almost went broadside because he was going so fast, and all of a sudden she's sitting there. But that's the most likely victim. And I can name 7 more people, including the mayor, in just a matter of time. We've already had a bicyclist hit at the corner of 10th and Fitzley. And the only way he was hit because the stop sign was run. And the bad part, the man didn't even have it, well, the bad part, the man didn't even have it decent to stop, but he was able to identify the driver to state police. My wife, being a nurse, took care of him, and I offered to buy him a new bicycle. And all I'm asking is for Sergeant Britton to provide a stationary patrol there on occasion. Don't park up in the church parking lot or my neighbor across the street's driveway. That's caused problems between us. All right? And do it at different times. That's all I'm asking. And because if you don't, the people get used to it. And the main time, I know he does a lot of night patrols, but the main point is when Dollar General's closed or between 6:30 in the morning to 8:30. But that's enough about speed on Fitzley. But the problem has gotten worse. More people picked up on it to cut through there and go to the plant or go to Dollar General. It's just a matter of what the time waiting for something to happen. But y'all going to ride around, or maybe not. But if you drive around and see the entire town, you can see what it looks like. Go to the end of Fitzley, each one of you. Go to the end of Fitzley. Those people was told they had to wait till the water project was done before it get paved. I can understand that. But how about a couple loads of gravel to put in the potholes up there? Drive up there and see it. Go over to Anderson Street. Go to the end. There's a construction company, a construction yard there in a residential area. Maybe it's like a cemetery. Maybe they've been trying to zone the thing. I think I was on council when the zone and the town manager brought it up, but it wasn't intended once in off a vehicle to be set at a cemetery. All right? But anyway, you went there, but we was talking about ordinance. Let's review the ordinances. I got one I want you to write the number down. In sight of Town Hall, 110.6, this is under the United States Building Code. The town manager's got a copy, or the county building official give you a copy. Within sight of Town Hall, it's 2 of them. 110.6, 110.8. And so the situation, we're going to enforce one that should have been changed 20 years ago. Farm use vehicles, we got one sitting across the street in Town Hall, been there for years, got a flat tire. We're going to enforce one, let's get them off. And unless it's been changed, a lot of them orders, I don't know what it is. But Roger, I remember before on council, you can't make a man mow his grass, you got hay fields, unless the ordinance been changed, or it's been meant to hay fields. If it's been changed, maybe it is, so I'm wrong in that situation. But I'd like to see the town manager riding around town. I haven't seen him go down Fitzley either way in 14 months. How does he manage the town if he ain't around town? He'd have a lot better picture also if he's living here in town as a resident. Obviously, this wasn't a condition of his employment to live in town. This is the first time this has happened in 15 years. And something else has been true for 15 years. For you 2 new council members, we've never had a council member that lived near one of these inoperable vehicles or run down buildings or trash yard. Never one. And here's 2 more. And Mr. Kilgore. If a council member lived beside some of these conditions, I bet they'd be changed, wouldn't it? Yeah, they would. All right. So I want to thank you for your time. And just please travel the streets and look at the number of inoperable vehicles for all of it. How many empty houses? How many empty buildings? How many empty? I know it's a problem on those because if they're not dumping raw sewage, ain't much you can do. And in closing, I made the same offer. You keep watching the clock. You know, if the hours you work, you shouldn't be worried about me being a minute over. So in closing, I'll make the same offer to any council member. If you want to observe it, come sit at my kitchen table. You might sit there an hour and see nothing. The next hour, you may see them flying. But you're welcome to come sit at my kitchen table where I spend a lot of time reading and observing. Me and my wife don't cross Fitzley. Well, it's no concern of mine until I see somebody of a pedestrian hit it there. So I leave it with council and hope something can be done about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Kendall.
Yeah, Mr. Kendall. Council, would y'all like to hear what Mr. Kendall has to say?
I'm sorry, if you have any questions or anything I said, you can either put me on the agenda next month or I'll stay around for your executive session.
Yeah, I have these envelopes to pass around.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kittle was not here.
I don't expect you to read them right now. They were given to you to read your leisure. Hello, my name is Bob Kindle. I respectfully request the mayor and town council to consider the event on January 7, 2014, in which on a visit to the town hall I was accused of being a bully and a control freak in front of witnesses in public. I was ordered from the town hall by the town manager and told by him not to return or I would be arrested. The town sergeant confirmed this. At this point, I have no personal knowledge of further allegations of my character. But I've heard that later that day, he also said in public that I was abusive and a terrorist. I'm here to request several things from the mayor and town council. I would first like them to consider this a closed session so we can all minimize the impact on real town business. I would like the town manager to present proof of his allegations and/or witnesses to validate his allegations. If the town manager cannot provide such, then I want an apology in writing placed on his personnel file. I believe he should apologize to me in public. I will not, out of respect, suggest what further measures you should take. You are his employee and must address these things. I do not elect you so that I should dictate your decision. I elected you to conduct the business of Glasgow and lead our community in the direction of your visions, influenced me to vote for you in the first place. Lastly, I think this matter should not halt the business you are trying to conduct. So please, this matter should be reviewed in a closed session and not before the public to enable all involved to speak freely. I will make myself available to answer or provide information at your request and timely consideration. I respectfully request that you release me tonight of all the restrictions the town manager has wrongfully imposed on me. I no longer desire to do business with Mr. Parker, and henceforth will come to the town hall to pay my taxes, fees, decals, or utility bills. If Mr. Parker is the only person present, I will not pay these until someone else is present. Lastly, I would like the mayor and council to revisit the town code and charter's residency requirements so that they are clearly defined, which is what I believe began this situation. This town manager is not a citizen of Glasgow or the county. I'm not sure if he's even a citizen of the state of Virginia. How can you, as our elected representatives, be so obtuse? How can you pat yourselves on the back for your community service when it is obvious you're only serving your own personal agendas? And calling it the good of the community. Do you ask anyone? What you do may be good, but it is your good. I submit it may not be everybody's good. The Natural Bridge supervisors here observe. May I respectfully request that if you consent to a closed session to examine this matter, that he be allowed to attend. I would like to commend Sergeant Aaron Britton for his professionalism. I admire his calm demeanor in what was a tense and embarrassing situation. I did not feel threatened or intimidated by his presence. I would like all mayor and council members to have Councilmember Funkhauser impart his philosophy on communication. He's spot on. As a businessman, Mr. Funkhauser knows its importance. Yesterday afternoon, Mr. Parker came to my house and apologized and told me I was welcome back at Town Hall and I had been put on the agenda. However, he made his comments in public, and he must apologize in public. Further to remind him of his mistake in the future, it must be noted on his records. This man took an oath, just like you did tonight, Madam Mayor, like you have taken, to support the Constitution of the United States of America. Part of the Constitution of the United States of America are the amendments. The First Amendment says I have freedom of speech. This man tried to suppress me. This man tried to make it so that I could not speak. He told me that I would not be on the agenda, and that I probably would not be able to speak in the public portion of this meeting. And I can confirm this. I know my rights. I'm an American. I fought for this country. I honor the people that sacrificed themselves for this country. To not stand up for myself or my family, the future of my family, would do a disservice to. It's disgraceful to be told that you cannot speak, to be called names by a public official. You ought to be ashamed, Paul. Thank you.
Mr. Duke, council would like to hear him speak.
So moved.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to stand up there because I'm having trouble with my back and my leg. It can go out at any time, and I don't want to end up as a crumpled mass on the floor there. I started out this trying to get on the agenda for a very simple reason, and it turned out to be quite an odyssey. I guess the reason I wanted to do that was because there's really not a lot of forums in which the citizens can talk to the council members and get communication going. And I had found in the past, and this is going to sound bizarre because it's Ryan, I'm saying Ryan did something good. If you called Ryan and wanted to get on the agenda, he would put you on the agenda so you could speak and people could comment back to him and there would be a dialogue. And he was very scrupulous about that because one time I called to get on the agenda and he said, "What's the topic?" And I said, "You." And he put me in anyway. Okay. That's the end of my praise for Ryan, and so don't worry, that's not going to happen again. But I think there's a real problem here because everything that gets presented is seen to be adversarial. I mean, it's like you don't want to hear from the people. You don't want to have these communications. And so I'm saying that all is because of what I've gone through and why I think it's important. And I tried to get on the agenda last week, and I ended up with a whole lot of things going on, which I gave you a copy of my narrative of my adventures with the town people. And I guess I'd first like to thank Mike Turner, Roger Funkhauser, former council member Monica Dock for all of their help and my ability to get a hold of them and have a dialogue. And so after that, I'll get to my simple question, which is, I was starting to look at the budget because of this water thing. I wanted to figure out a little bit about it because we're doing all this stuff with water, and I got curious. I went on the website and I saw on one of the budgets that the expenditures for the water was exactly the same as the revenue. I thought, wow, that's weird. That hardly ever happens. Then I looked at the sewer. It was the same way. So I started looking at things that were, what was charged to what. I still don't know exactly what items in this town are charged to water. Okay, it looked to me like there's at least one person's salary full-time under that category. And I don't believe that there is one person that works full-time on the water. I mean, I think they're here doing other things, and that's fine, but it just seems like that bookkeeping is not as good as it could be. I'm not accusing anyone of anything weird. I just think it'd be nice if you could say, okay, we've got 4 hours today, that's on the water, we'll charge it if it's 2 people, 1 person, 3. So you can keep track of what the real expenses are rather than just throwing the things in there. And that's really all I wanted to say was, I'm having trouble, when I looked at those things, to do it. Paul brought some budgets over to me. They're different than the 2 on the web, which are in different formats. And it's really kind of confusing. And I mean, I'm not afraid to look at budgets, but I'm baffled by some of this stuff. So anyway, oh, I guess one other thing is, if you want to do anything with the web, I can do almost anything with the web, and that's pretty well known. I did the stuff for for Riverfest, but I'm not volunteering here. If somebody wants to talk to me about any specific thing, I'd be glad to do it, but that's not what I do for fun. Okay. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Managers report.
Can I say something in the public?
Public comment, you got to approach the council.
Mayor, may I speak?
Council?
Okay. Well, you may not like what I'm have to say because I want to let the council and the mayor know, and Mr. Parker already knows, that with all this water stuff going on and we have to be prepared to come out of pocket with a lot of money, it's making me think that I may have to go ahead and take legal action against the town for my water system. My water system has been messed up and it's on the town side for well over 20 years.
That's the sewer, right?
Yes,
Not
the
water.
sewer. Well, it still goes in and out. Well, it won't.